Okay, we're doing things on multiple levels here. So officially for the class, for the other people who are not here tonight, the policy is going to be that you have to do the loneliness paper. You've got a month to send drafts. You've got the memory paper. You'll be doing a full paper for the memory, and those are the two assignments, and those are going to be due on August 17th. There'll be no deduct for any of the memory stuff because that's still current. For the loneliness, as long as you do the 3 sections of the loneliness, that'll be docked to grade. But as long as you do that and get that posted, it's just the paper, and all the other ancillary assignments around that, I'll just give whatever grade you get for the paper for those grades as well. So with that being said, let's get to Amber's draft of the memory study. Heather and Tom, were you guys able to listen at all to the acoustic recording for the memory paper? Heather, were you able to do that or no?
No.
So that's on for last. Tom, were you able? So did that make sense to you, Tom?
Oh, yeah.
So the idea is we've got a draft here. This is not a perfect draft. It's a first draft, which is a good base, but I'm going to go through this and just give Amber some direct feedback on things, and hopefully for Heather and Tom, you can learn from this example and try to draft something reasonable like this as well. So we got paragraph number 1. Amber, how did this work for you as you were trying to put this together? Was this easy? Was this hard? What was your process?
I thought it was easy. I just referred back to the notes that you gave us in the acoustic summary. And basically at the end, I had a number 4 there for being the 4th section. You discussed how to write up the paper, and you gave us 4 paragraphs.
So let me go back. I'm not sure if Tom or Heather heard you. What she basically did is from last week, I gave a little 10-minute acoustic version. I've also, from last week, I had 3 articles posted.
Right.
And between those, she drafted this product. This product is okay. It's a good first draft. But I would say for each one of you, for Heather and Tom, try to do that as well. The other thing that I've posted here, as I scroll down, I've actually got the references here. If you scroll down on week 8, the references you actually have to have at the end, but they're cited here for you.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that should help you out. Heather, are you seeing that as well?
I am.
So this should make life reasonably easy for you for the citations, because they're actually kind of tricky to cite. But these are the seminal studies on this. So let's take a read through of your intro section. In a 1971 study, Atkinson and Schifrin studied human memory and described the 3 places our memories can be stored as sensory, short-term, and long-term memory. I don't know. I guess I should just directly critique. For Heather and Tom, would you like me to do that, or do you guys want to render some judgment yourself?
That's fine.
Which is fine.
I can critique it. You critique it. That's fine.
Okay, I guess I can just do it myself. Tom, I think you were saying you weren't feeling too well, so I think I'll just do the verbal myself, and
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to listen.
and Amber, we can talk about it. What I basically did here, her first paragraph is actually pretty reasonable. What were you trying to do in your paragraph 1, Amber?
Follow your directions.
Follow my directions. Paragraph 1, the idea is give a base as far as what Atkinson and Schifrin, what is the current model of memory. And in the current model of memory, we have sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. In the first paragraph, you should give some sort of sense of that. I said that in my acoustic version, and you also referred to their article, correct? Their article is much more technical than this, isn't it? But it was the base article. So the idea is say what sensory memory is. It's a brief, high-capacity, short-duration memory. Then it goes into, it's transferred into short-term memory, 5 to 9 chunks of information. And then the idea is you try to use that and consolidate it into long-term memory. You've tried to do that here. The key to successful storing information is being able to recall it. We have control processes. So she tries to do that. So that's the idea of paragraph 1. I gave her some direct critiques, I believe. And so she's going to try to come up with a separate version of this. For Heather or for Tom, does that make sense for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, just try to describe the base model of what memory is. How about for paragraph 2? Amber, what did you try to do for paragraph 2 here?
Why we forget so much.
So my instructions for paragraph 2, following the inverted pyramid, after describe the base model of what memory is, sensory, short-term, and long-term, why do people forget? And so she tried to do that here. Many individuals have complaints of not remembering things. There are a lot of reasons. It looks like you provide some. There could be age reasons. There might not be good study habits. I think what I gave you on my critique, though, was there could be a lot of other reasons. I think the book chapter especially. And so for Heather and Tom, if you guys are taking notes on this, talking about things like if you don't process it a lot, it'll be lost from short-term memory. There could be interference. I think in the book chapter it talks some about proactive interference and retroactive interference. So maybe use the book chapter a little bit to talk about some of the reasons people forget things. So you've got a good first draft there of those particular reasons. Heather, is that making good sense to you?
Yeah.
So just use the resources on that. For you, Amber, you're going to want to switch this around just a little bit from this. And then for paragraph number 3, what did you try to do for paragraph number 3?
3 was how to improve the memory.
Exactly. Paragraph 3 should be, how do you improve memory? And do you remember the reason I told you to make paragraph 3 on that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if you all can see me though.
Oh, is that Deneen?
Yeah, that's Janine.
Hey, Deneen, glad you made it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm tuning in a few minutes behind.
That's okay. We're glad to have you on. I've got Heather just on my local phone. Tom is on conference call like you, and
Okay.
Amber is here in the class. So if you can hear me, that's really the main thing. All we're doing right now, we can kind of catch you up, Deneen, is we're just looking at Amber's intro.
Okay.
Can you pull up Amber's intro?
I see it, but the first lines, well, I see a few lines above that, but what I see is it is common for people to complain of having poor memory.
Okay. Can you see me scrolling up now or no?
I can, yes.
Okay, so you're good.
Yes.
If it disconnects here, Deneen, just try calling back, and I'm also recording this. So let me summarize what we've basically said. Deneen, were you able to start a draft of the intro?
I didn't start the draft. What I did was go in and to Blackboard, and I, provided all the information there regarding the memory study. And
So-
I was just going to start to build off of that information.
So that's fine. You can use Amber's draft here. Let me just paraphrase from what we've covered here so far. Paragraph 1, what Amber is trying to do here is simply summarize the Atkinson and Schifrin theory of memory.
Okay.
So you want to try to do that. She's done a reasonable job here. Some of her language is a little off, but give it your best shot, Deneen, and then just send me a draft of that, paraphrase what Atkinson and Schifrin say for this, and then in paragraph 2, you should try to go into why is memory poor sometimes, and talk about interference, and how things can just decay, if there's things like retroactive interference and proactive. The book chapter should have a lot of reasons on why things are lost.
Okay.
Her language here is reasonable, but that's the idea of paragraph 2. And then we were just starting to talk about paragraph 3.
Okay.
And in paragraph 3, you want to talk about how to improve memory. And so for that one, once again, the book chapter and even that little consumer thing, how to improve memory, mnemonics. Mnemonic devices are good to talk about. I believe the book chapter does some of that. So look at the book chapter. The other thing I was saying, Deneen, to the rest of the class is I've actually included the references. Can you see me scrolling down here?
I can.
So I've actually got, for the 3 references, these are actually the Atkinson, the Jaffe, which is the tips to improve memory, and then the Morris and Fritz book chapter. These are the references. So in parentheses it has Morris and Fritz. That's what you write in text. And then at the end of the paper, you can actually have these 3 citations.
Okay, great. So that's in Blackboard for us be able to review.
Yeah, so that's for you to use. Heather, is that working for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
I have to say, Amber has been doing an excellent job.
oh, Amber is doing an excellent job. Yeah, she's kind of helping the rest of you out as we go on here. So, paragraph 3, I gave Amber some direct critiques that you can't see here. I think the critiques for you here, Amber, is do talk about things like mnemonics. The other thing that you can do is mnemonics, how to improve memory. We have things like the method of loci. And then for paragraph 4, I believe one of the book chapters talks about the Bauer study. You've misspelled Bauer. Let me see if I can bring up, because in one of the, no, it's not here. Oh, I know where it was. Let me go, I'm going to go into the references. I think it was the book chapter on memory.
Okay.
If you guys want to pull up the book chapter on memory, it's either in this one. Can you guys see my book chapter or not necessarily?
Yeah, I can.
Can you? Okay.
Yeah.
And Heather, are you bringing up your book chapter?
I am working on it.
And I know Tom's our silent partner here.
Yeah, I've got the, just tell me what page, I've got the page.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's in there. Was it in there? Oh, there's the Morris and Fritz chapter. Ah, there it is. So for the book chapter, our study was a replication, it looks like on figure 11.8.
Yeah, I see it.
And the reference is right next to that. It's on the bottom column. It says Bauer, Clark, Leskold, and Winzens, 1969.
Okay.
So it's on the bottom of that page. Our study was kind of a replication of that. And actually on 239, that's exactly what we did, except ours was much more simple. So 239 is the key page. Is everybody with me on that?
Yep.
Okay, so what they did, well, let's actually get back to the reading here. Let's get back. So in the intro, what you want to do is paragraph 1, talk about the model of short, long-term memory. Paragraph 2, talk about the problems of why people forget things. Paragraph 3, talk about ways of improving. And paragraph 4, what you want to do is our study was a partial replication of their study. So in paragraph 4, you kind of want to say what they did and what they found. What they basically did is in our study, and hopefully you had a chance to just try our little study, we had a total of how many words in our study? I think it was like 25. Actually, I have it up. I posted that as well. Yeah, if you guys go, we had like 20, 25 words. What they actually did is they showed a total of 128 words. Actually, it was 112 words. Sorry about that. 112 words. One group got them in an organized way with all the structure that you see on 238, where they had minerals and rare and common and all that kind of stuff. And the other group got them so they were very disorganized, random. And they gave these to these people for 4 total trials. And what they were able to find is if you follow the blocked or organized group, after only 2 trials, people were able to recall 106 of the 112 words. So by 2 trials, if it was organized, things were very good. So this study showed that if you organize information when you're trying to memorize it, you can recall it very well. And if it was random when it was presented, you couldn't.
Right.
Well, because if it was random, then you couldn't map it. You just couldn't memorize it. Things that are random and aren't structured, you just can't recall that good. And so they found this in their trial. The difference between our trials and theirs, there were 2 differences. One of the differences is that when you guys ran, if you ran the study, and hopefully you have or you know what we did, the idea was I showed you 25 words organized, and then I gave you another set of 25 words that were random. Yours was what we call a within subject design. You ran in both conditions. In their study, they only had it where if you were organized, you had 4 trials of it. We only had 1 of each. Deneen, is that working for you, or am I confusing the heck out of you?
No, I'm on with that.
Okay. Heather, is that working for you?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. So there were some key differences, but what they basically found is that if they gave 112 words to people organized, by 2 trials in, people were able to recall all of these words. So this showed that if you have information organized, it really helps you with your memory. Just like if you study for a test and you've got good outlines, you're really going to have a good chance of recalling that. So what you need to have in your last paragraph of your intro is you need to share what Bauer and his colleagues did and what they found. What they did is they gave people 112 words, and they found that if it was organized, by 2 trials in, you were able to recall most of that, suggesting that information, when it's structured, you can really recall it well. Our study was a partial replication of that. So you want to say in the present study, we wanted to replicate the Bauer study, and we wanted to see if you only had 25 words and it was organized, would you have more recall than if it was just 25 words randomly? Comments or questions?
I
Go-
do.
Go ahead.
So basically in the paragraph 4, we're just saying, presently we wanted to replicate the Bauer experiment, and that's in paragraph 4?
Yes. So let's go and can you see back to what, Amber, you gave it a good crack there. Can you guys see Amber's 4th paragraph?
Yes.
So let's go through this specifically. The present study, a replication, you can say the present study was a replication of the Bauer and Clark study of 69. You can say what they did and found maybe first. And then what you want to do, as she's done, she's got that 3rd sentence in there. The goal of the present study was to determine if organizing words would lead to better recall than random. So you're pretty close on that. You don't want to give the results of what we found or even what they found right there, but just say we predicted people should recall more organized than random. It'll take a draft or 2, but that's fine. Is this okay with Deneen? Are you all right with this?
Yeah, this study made a little bit more sense to me.
Well, good.
I guess it was because, it was something that we were actually doing and, had more participation in it.
Yeah. So that's the idea. You can start with what Amber did, but just then make it your own work. Send me a draft of it, and I'll help you. I think I had a lot of comments on yours, did I not, Amber?
I haven't gone back yet.
So I gave her a bunch of comments, but she's got the base there. Yeah, so you just give the prediction. Okay, I think that's going to close, and I'm going to stop my acoustic tape here. The intro, do you guys have any questions then on the intro?
I don't.
The best thing I can share, and Deneen, you came in a little late, but let me share my policy with you. Basically, for the rest of the semester, you've got till mid-August, you're going to write up a full paper for the memory study, and you've got the rest of the term to do it. There's not going to be any other new assignments.
Okay.
This is it. And the other thing I've told is on the loneliness paper, because only 1 or 2 people have posted that. Actually, only Amber posted that. You'll have the rest of the semester to work on that one as well. Whatever your final grade is for that one, I'll also make that the grade that you'll get on all those other partial assignments.
Okay.
So it's do the paper. There will be a 1 grade docking for the loneliness paper. For the memory paper, there won't be any docking because that's the product you're working on. That'll be it. There won't be any other new assignments.
Okay.
Okay, so let me stop my acoustic tape.